Troy Kearns, real estate investor, bringing it to you from my Las Vegas office with a big question for you today. Why do most people fail? Ask yourself that question. Why do most people fail? Well, if you've wondered why people are going to fail, then I'm going to give you the answer. If you know the answer to why people fail, guess what the opposite of failure is? Success! And if you know why most people fail, then you are going to be able to avoid those landmines, those land traps. And guess what? I want to know, why do you think that most people fail? I want to hear what you think. Make sure you let us know in our comments, but let me get right into it. If you don't know who I am, my name is Troy Kearns. I am a real estate investor based out of Las Vegas, Nevada. On my way to Kansas City, Missouri. On my way to Florida, and I do a lot of real estate investing. I own over 350 rental units. One important thing that you need to know about failure is it builds resilience. It makes you tougher. And failure brings the opportunity to learn things better. Failure helps us learn from our mistakes. And failure helps us think about new ways, new ideas, and new ways to strategize to hit our goal. And failure helps us deepen our experience. You know that falling down on a snowboard, on a bicycle, it hurts, right? And you don't want to do it again. So failure hurts, but it deepens our experience, our resilience, and it makes us tougher, and it helps us figure out a better way to do something. And if you're asking yourself, well, Troy, man, I don't want to deal with failure. Well, if you understand that failure leads to success, and that most people don't succeed the first time, like Jeff Bezos, right? If you haven't seen our video on Amazon, check it out. But Jeff Bezos, it took him 30 years to really succeed. Amazon wasn't even profitable for almost 20 years. Failure and business are synonymous. So why do most people fail? Get into it already, would ya? Well, they beat themselves right out of the gate. You might have thought this before. You might think, I can't even do this, I can't be successful, and they just convince themselves and they don't even start. That is the number one reason why most people fail, is because they talk themselves right out of it. And this happens at a very early age. I have 2 children who are 7 years old, and I constantly have to remind them, you have to think I can do it, because right naturally we already think I can't, because stuff is scary. But the number one reason that most people fail is because right out of the gate they tell themselves they can't do it. Whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. If you never think that you're going to be successful, you're never even going to start, or if you do start, but you have in the back of your mind that it's not going to work, guess what? It's probably not, because it's called manifestation. Failure and success means taking action. People who take action succeed. People who fail don't even start. It's like I said before, it's the power of your belief system, right? If you believe, and I told you this in several videos, and if you haven't watched them, make sure you go through right now on my channel and binge watch, because part of being successful is reprogramming your brain, like reprogramming it literally, and you have to say, how are successful people thinking? Why do I need to not think of failure? I need to think of how can I get this done? What is preventing me from getting this done? And how can I succeed? Not how can I fail? So it's reprogramming your brain with positive thinking. If I can do it, so can you. Anybody can do anything, so can you. Number 2, probably as equally as important as having the mindset, is failures refuse to change. They do the same thing over and over again that has not led them to success. Make a failure, they keep going on the same path that got them there. They don't look at the map, they don't open the book, they don't do anything. They refuse to change, they do what they've always done, they don't learn. You know why? Because they don't take action. You have to take action, and you have to take a different course, and you have to be open to change. Change is absolutely necessary when you want to move your life from failure to outstanding success. You have to change, because whatever you're doing right now is not working for you. In fact, one of my biggest mistakes is not starting investing in real estate until I was like 24 years old, right? I wish I would have started earlier. I wish I would have done things differently, but you know what? I'm open to failing and I'm willing to change. And this goes without saying, but if you do not change, you get the same results today that you did yesterday, that you will be the day before. And that's great. But even at the gym, they tell you, mix it up, right? You gotta mix things up to get your body, to get your mind, to get a different result. And another reason why people fail is they lack persistence. One of my favorite sayings is persistence breaks down resistance. Everybody who's successful understands what I'm talking about right now. We'll just give us a classic example. Look at our subscriber count right now. I know that this thing is going to take a long time for us to be able to build credibility with our audience, for them to see that I know what I'm talking about. And I am committed to being persistent. That's why I'm loading a video every day of quality content so that you can learn how to become a successful real estate investor, and you can learn good habits that are gonna help you succeed. People who are successful are persistent. They see the long-term goal, and they know that if they start, they're gonna be persistent until they get to a result. One of the reasons they quit and they're not persistent is they don't work for the solution, they focus on the problem. And you hear me talk about this all the time. Never ever focus on the problem. There's a million problems out there. Focus on the solution and you'll make money. If you're on a trail and you run into a cliff that you can't climb over, maybe it's time to look at the map. Make a change, be persistent, don't quit the hike, right? And you know what? The grass ain't greener on the other side. The grass is greener where you water it. And no matter what goals you try to pursue, you can turn it into a big success if you just don't quit. You are persistent on it and you follow a plan and are willing to change. One of the last reasons, and we're almost wrapping it up, is that they focus on short-term gain versus long-term success. You know, people like this all the time. They're in 7-Eleven scratching off scratch-off tickets, trying to win, not saving their money to invest in real estate. Because everybody who's successful knows success is not created in the short term. It's a long-term commitment. I have a commitment to success. I don't have a commitment to money. I have a commitment to success. Money comes because of success and long-term commitment. And because of this, it takes a lot of discipline, self-discipline, to get the daily hustle, the daily work grind. And no matter who tells you it's not a grind, in the beginning, it's a grind. And why most people fail because of that is they will see the short-term failures and they'll forget about their long-term results and they will just quit. They'll abandon their plan, they'll forget where they're at, and they'll say, I'm done. Forget it. You gotta remember where you're at today, and I suggest journaling and finding out where you're gonna be tomorrow. I'll talk about my own personal journey right now with weight loss. When I got on YouTube, I didn't realize how fat I was. When I saw that video, I said, geez Louise, man, it is time to get in shape. And right now, I am very goal-oriented. I know where I'm trying to go, and I know that in the past, I was doing all of this crap. I was focusing on short-term gains, quick weight loss, lose a little bit of weight, look good for a couple months, and get back to being fat again, right? So now I am committed in making a lifestyle of change because I know it's the right thing to do. Another major reason why people fail is they let their fears control their lives. Fear is the most powerful emotion. If you don't understand that, look at what's going on with COVID-19 right now. Fear is the most powerful emotion that there is. Fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear of speaking in front of others, fear of losing, fear of missing out, fear of everything. If you're experiencing fear in any sort of course of life, you have to be willing to face your fears, right? You have to walk through that fear, right? If it's you stepping on a building and you're like, oh, you know what, I don't like heights. Well, either do I, right? Get up there, get it done, walk through the failure, walk through the fear, and guess what? You'll leave it behind you, right? The more times you do something, the less scared you are. The more times you regress and you avoid and you do whatever, the bigger that fear, the bigger that hurdle is in your mind. You probably don't even realize it, but fear is controlling you right now. It rules your life. It makes every decision for you. And most people are afraid of success because they're afraid of failure, right? And how can you be successful if you're afraid of failing? We already talked about that. You can't be. And if you understand this, and I really want you to take this away, failure is on the same side of the road as success. And there's an old story, one of my favorite books, Think and Grow Rich, written by Napoleon Hill in 1937. He says, I stopped one time 3 feet from gold and I will never stop again. And that's one of my favorite quotes, is that people always stop very close to their biggest success. We know that someone is tempting us to quit, and that's our mind. Our mind is tempting us to quit. Don't listen to it, man. That's a representation of life, man. Everything that we see is something that tells us just quit. Just go get a thing of ice cream, just pull in a 7-Eleven, get a big gulp. Life's good. Put it off till tomorrow. It's gonna be all right. Just quit. Another major reason, and probably one of the things that I think is the biggest, because this can be changed, right? Fear is an emotion. It's hard to change. You got to work on it. Most people fail because they aren't willing to do the hard work, right? There isn't enough hard-working people out there these days. It's not even that accepted anymore to be hard work. It's actually looked down upon for somebody who sweats for a living. I applaud you if you sweat for a living. I think that hard work is absolutely necessary. If you can't change your attitude to become a hard worker, then you will fail. And finally, they just don't have a calling. Maybe they thought they were gonna be a mother, maybe they thought they were gonna be a father, and now they're just no one, right? They're just doing nothing. And of all the reasons that people fail, this is absolutely one of the most crucial reasons that people fail. They just don't have a purpose. 100 people go to work and 95 of them don't have a reason why they do it. They don't know why they're getting up and going to work. So ask yourself tonight, why are you getting up and going to work? And one of the things people tell you is do what you love. We know that's not 100% right, but we do know if you don't have a meaningful purpose, you will never be successful, because you have to have a drive that's going to take you there, and that's that meaningful purpose. Maybe it's because you were born broke like me and you don't want to be in poverty. Whatever the reason is, you better have one. And purpose can guide your life, shape your decisions, and when you have purpose, your work and life becomes meaningful and fun. If you want to become successful and you do not want to become a failure, I hope this video will help you understand that you've got to be consistent, that you got to change, that you got to have a purpose, and that you can't be a quitter, and that you got to have the ability to work hard. So make sure you do all of those things. Subscribe to our channel.